Hi, welcome back to my channel, The Coin Studio. Today, we're diving deep into the world of rare and valuable Australian 20-cent coins. First up, 1970 to small broad rim. Now, at first glance, this coin might not stand out, but for seasoned collectors, it's a curious variation worth taking a second look at. The 1970 to 20-cent coin was struck at a time when the Royal Australian Mint was experimenting with dies. And in doing so, they produced a subtle but distinct varieties, one of which featured a slightly narrower and more subtle rim, commonly referred to as the small broad rim variety. Now you might be wondering, why is the rim so important? Well, the rim of a coin not only protects the design but also plays a key role in stacking and vending machine compatibility. In 1972, a batch of coins came off the press with a visibly thinner rim than usual, an unintentional result of die wear or misalignment. Today, this rim variation has become a niche collectible. While it's not the most dramatic error you'll find, its rarity and distinctiveness make it a favorite among advanced collectors. In high-grade and circulated condition, these coins can fetch up to $15,000 or more, depending on the level of preservation and strike quality. So if you've got a 1970 to 20-cent coin lying around, take a close look at the rim. You might be holding on to a hidden gem. Next up, 1974 Mules. Now this one is for the real coin sleuths out there, because these mules are elusive, rare, and often misidentified. So, what exactly is a mule in the world of coins? A mule occurs when a coin is struck using dies from two different coins or denominations, usually due to a mistake during the minting process. The result is a hybrid coin that shouldn't exist, and that makes it incredibly desirable. In 1973 and 1974, a small number of 20-cent coins were accidentally struck using mismatched obverse and reverse dies. And fortunately, the exact nature of these mule errors remains largely undocumented by official mint sources, making them all the more mysterious. Collectors and error coin experts speculate that these coins may have used obverse dies intended for other denominations or even from earlier years, resulting in subtle inconsistencies in the design, spacing, or lettering. What makes them so hard to identify is the lack of widespread public awareness. Unlike the famous 2000 Mule 20-cent coin, which features a $1 obverse, these 1974 Mule errors require careful side-by-side comparison and an expert eye. But if you're lucky enough to find one, and if it's authenticated, it could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars to the right buyer. These are ultra-rare coins, and very few have made it into known collections. Next up, 1971 low mintage. This is a classic example of scarcity driving value. In the world of coin collecting, mintage numbers, meaning how many coins were actually produced, are a major factor in determining a coin's rarity and desirability. In 1971, the Royal Australian Mint struck only 8.9 million 20-cent coins for circulation. That might sound like a lot, but in the world of currency, where some years saw mintage figures of 50 million or more, that's considered a very small number. As a result, the 1971 20-cent coin has become a key date in Australian decimal coinage. Collectors aiming to complete year sets often find this one to be one of the harder gaps to fill, especially in uncirculated or high-grade examples. What adds to its mystique is the fact that it wasn't part of any commemorative release, no special designs or wild minting errors. Just a plain, standard 20-cent coin, produced in relatively low numbers, and quietly slipping out into circulation. Today, a circulated 1971 20-cent coin might still trade hands for a few dollars, but in mint state and circulated condition, these can sell for $15,000 to $25,000 or more. especially when graded by a professional service like PCs or NGC. So if you're sorting through your change or digging through old coin jars, keep your eyes peeled for a 1971 20 cent, especially one with minimal wear and strong luster. Next up, 2001 upset die error. This coin is one of the most peculiar and visually striking errors to come out of the minting process, the 2001 upset die error. Now, what exactly is an upset die error? In a perfect world, when a coin is struck, the obverse and reverse dies, the front and back designs are perfectly aligned. That way, if you flip the coin vertically, the image on the reverse appears right side up. But with the 2001 upset die error, something went wrong. Some 20-cent coins were struck with rotated dies, resulting in coins where the reverse and obverse designs are no longer aligned. Imagine flipping your coin vertically and seeing the platypus swimming sideways or even upside down. That's an upset die error in action. These types of errors occur when the dies shift during the minting process and are not realigned correctly. While this can be subtle, just a few degrees off, it can also be dramatic, with some 2001 examples showing a 90 or even 180-degree rotation. Now here's the exciting part. These coins can be worth anywhere from $10,000 to over $20,000 depending on the degree of rotation and the coin's condition. A full 180-degree rotation in uncirculated condition is the most desirable and can fetch the highest price among collectors. So how do you check? Simple. Take your 2001 20-cent coin, place it upright, and flip it vertically. If the reverse image is not aligned straight, congratulations. You might have an upset die error in your hands. Next up, 1981 3.5 claw variety. This is one of those coins where you need to know exactly what you're looking for. But once you do, it's surprisingly easy to identify and a fun one to collect. So what does 3.5 claw mean? Take a close look at the left front paw of the platypus on the reverse side of a 1981 20-cent coin. On most coins, you'll see four clearly defined claws. But on some 1981 coins, one of those claws, specifically the first one, is shortened or partially missing, creating what looks like only 3.5 claws. This is not a worn coin or damage, it's a die variation. Here's the history behind it. In 1981, demand for 20-cent coins was so high that the Royal Australian Mint outsourced production to international mints, including the Royal Canadian Mint. These Canadian minted coins used different dies, which led to the 3.5 claw variety. This variety is easy to spot and fun to hunt for in bulk lots. It's not ultra rare, but in uncirculated condition or in bulk collector interest, it carries significant value. An average circulated 3.5 claw coin might sell for a few dollars, but high-grade examples can go for $30,000 to $60,000 or more, especially when slabbed or part of a complete error variety set. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned numismatist, this variety is a must-have in any Aussie coin collection. Next up, 1970 Lamination error. A truly fascinating coin that reveals the imperfections of the metal itself, the 1970 Lamination error 20 cent. This isn't a design flaw. It's not a mismatched die. It's a problem that began before the coin was even struck. During the production of the metal blanks or plaquettes, a lamination error occurs when impurities in the metal cause a thin layer of the coin's surface to flake, peel, or crack. The result? A coin that looks like it's shedding skin or has raised, peeling surfaces, often in random jagged shapes. Now, the 1970 lamination error is notable because it was a known issue during that year. A batch of coins estimated to be around 200 or so entered circulation with visible lamination flaws. Some were mild with just a slight split in the metal, while others had large sections missing or flaked away. These errors are very noticeable, and unlike other subtle mint errors, They don't require magnification. Some lamination errors are on the obverse, others on the reverse, and some even span both sides of the coin. Collectors love them because they're eye-catching and technically complex. Each lamination error is completely unique. Kind of like a fingerprint, no two are exactly alike. In circulated condition, these coins might bring $2,000 to $5,000, but in pristine or dramatic examples, especially if still partially intact, they can fetch $25,000 to $30,000 or more. And because they are so visual, they make excellent display pieces for collectors who enjoy showcasing the weird and wonderful side of coin production. Next up, 1966 Wavy Baseline 20 cent. We have one of the most iconic and widely sought after Australian 20-cent era coins, the legendary 1966 Wavy Baseline 20 cent. For most people, 1966 was just the year Australia transitioned to decimal currency. But for coin collectors, it marked the beginning of something extraordinary. Here's the deal. Most 1966 20-cent coins look the same. But a small batch struck at the Royal Mint in London featured a wavy line under the number 2 inches on the reverse. That tiny wave in the baseline, right beneath the numeral 2, is what makes this coin worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. So how did this happen? The wavy baseline is the result of a die flaw, most likely caused by over-polishing or reworking during preparation. It created a distinct wave on the base of the 2 that's visible to the naked eye but easy to miss if you're not looking for it. Collectors immediately fell in love with this variety. Why? Because it was clear, visual, and traceable to a specific mint. And as time went on, the population of confirmed wavy baseline coins remained incredibly low. In high-grade uncirculated condition, this coin has fetched over $40,000 at auction. Even worn examples can bring in $35,000 to $45,000 depending on the clarity of the wave and overall condition. If you've got a stack of 1966 20-cent coins lying around, do yourself a favor, flip them over and zoom in on that number 2. If the baseline is wavy, you've hit the jackpot. Next up, 2000 Mule 20-cent coin is one of the most infamous minting errors in modern Australian history, the 2000 Mule 20-cent coin. Now, to be clear, this is not the famous $2,000 1/20C mule struck with a double obverse. That's a different mule entirely. This 20-cent coin is a rumored mule error where a small batch of 20-cent coins may have been struck with a mismatched obverse die, possibly one intended for another denomination or even a foreign contract coin. The key identifier here is the slightly doubled rim, misalignment, or odd spacing on the obverse inscriptions, particularly around the Queen's effigy. Collectors believe these were created by an improperly paired die set that was never meant to be used together, hence the term mule, which in coinage refers to a hybrid coin struck from mismatched dies. What's fascinating is how little official confirmation exists. These coins are shrouded in mystery, and only a handful have ever been authenticated. Because of their rarity and the ongoing debate about their origin, these coins have sold privately for over $100,000 in some cases, especially in high-grade condition with visible die anomalies. If you collect 20-cent coins from the year 2000, look very carefully at the obverse. Any signs of odd spacing, rim doubling, or strike differences could be a valuable clue. Next up, 1981 20-cent on Hong Kong to dollars blanket. We're looking at a bizarre and rare cross-minting error that left collectors scratching their heads and drooling over its value. The 1981 20 cents struck on a Hong Kong to dollars blanket. Yes, you heard that right, this is an Australian coin struck on a foreign coin blank, one that was never supposed to be in our mint presses. Here's how it likely happened. In 1981, the Royal Mint outsourced the production of 20-cent coins to several mints overseas, including the Royal Mint in Wales and the Royal Canadian Mint. Around that same time, both mints were producing Hong Kong to dollars coins, which are made of a nickel-brass alloy and have a distinctive golden hue. Somehow, during that period, a Hong Kong to dollars blank found its way into the minting process for an Australian 20-cent coin. The result? A 20-cent coin with a golden tone, slightly different dimensions, and a dramatically incorrect plankett composition. Only a few examples of this era have ever surfaced. They're easy to spot by color alone, but they have been certified by PCs and NGC, confirming the wrong plankett. Collectors love this coin because it's an extreme error, the kind you rarely see escape a modern mint. Prices? Astronomical. Authenticated examples have sold for 0.5 million to 0.9 million odd, depending on grade and die appeal. That's some serious money for what was originally a 20-cent piece. If you ever come across a 1981 20-cent coin that's golden color, get it checked. You could be holding one of Australia's rarest plankett errors. Next up, 2001 bimetal plankett error. We have what might be one of the strangest and most visually confusing minting errors ever discovered: the 2001 bimetal plankett error. Yes, you heard that correctly, a 20-cent coin I struck on a bimetallic blank. This type of coin features two distinct metals, usually a core of one metal surrounded by an outer ring of another, like what we see in modern to dollars coins or European euros. But 20-cent coins have never been produced as bimetal pieces, which is what makes this error so bizarre. So how did it happen? It's believed that a foreign bimetallic blank, possibly meant for another country's currency, was accidentally fed into the press at the Royal Australian Mint. Rather than being rejected, it passed through the striking process and was struck with the 20-cent design. The result is astonishing. A coin that looks completely alien, with a golden-colored center, a silver outer ring, and the familiar platypus design stretched and distorted across a foreign plankett. This is one of the rarest 20-cent mint errors ever discovered. Fewer than a dozen are known to exist, and all have been authenticated by top grading services. Values. You'll want to sit down for this. In 2022, a bimetal 2001 20-cent error sold for over 1.1 million odd at public auction. Other examples have fetched between 0.7 million and 1 million, depending on condition. These are true unicorn coins, near impossible to find, absolutely unmistakable, and valuable beyond belief. From the mysterious Mule and unexpected bimetallic errors to plankettes that crossed oceans and dyes that waved under the radar, these coins prove that even the smallest errors can lead to the biggest treasures. If you're enjoying this series, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss the final stretch of our countdown where the rarest and most valuable coins await. And hey, got one of these in your collection? Drop a comment below. We love hearing your coin stories and spotlighting viewer finds. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy collecting.